Once upon a time, in a high mountainous area, there was a couple who came to make a living. They also grow rice and corn, raise chickens and pigs, and hunt birds and rabbits like any other family. But thanks to the wealth left by their parents, they live comfortably. So despite the hardships, the couple still enjoys family with their 5-year-old son. Suddenly one day an old friend came to visit. Two men who hadn't and #39 seen each other for a long time shook hands happily. The friend said, "I heard that you moved here a long time ago. Now that I have to go this way, I can visit. I have a pair of geese ready to give to you." The owner asks, "Where have you been for a long time without any news? I wonder what job you do." "I Don and number 39 have any job. I 1 and number 39 hide anything from you. I have long been cultivating immortals in hopes of attaining enlightenment. For 5 years straight, he and number 39 been in prison in one place, and now he has to go to the mountains. What and number 39 the point of going up the mountain? To find agarwood. Must have incense burned when wanting to fulfill a prayer. Tram will bring his request to the palace. Thanks to that, the Nquat, fairies and Quat, will know what you want and will grant it to you." The owner asks again, "The mountains and forests are endless, the trees are vast, how can I find agarwood?" The customer replied, "It and number 39 not difficult. When looking for agarwood, you must suck on wormwood." Having said that, the customer took out a small package wrapped in cashew cloth from his hand, opened it, took out the wormwood, showed it to his friend, and said, "This is the wormwood that I have been practicing for many years. Just by taking a little bit of this wormwood, you can walk all year long in the deep forest, without fear of harm from tigers, leopards, snakes, or centipedes. You Don and number 39 need to eat or drink anything, and you have the hope of being blessed by the Nquat, fairies and Quat, to help you find your way deep." At that time, he could make a wish to live forever. The owner saw that his old friend and number 39's practice was about to succeed and that he could hold wealth in his hands, and his eyes were dizzy. He picked up the wormwood, lifted it up and put it down a few times, and said to himself, "Wow, just a little bit of this medicine can make you wish, how much happiness." Happily, he also told his friend about his life over the past few years, then urged his wife to prepare food and wine for the treat. During the few days the guest stayed, knowing that the guest liked to play chess, the owner took out an ivory chess set and invited the guests to play. He chose a chess piece and gave it to his friend, saying, "This chess set left by my ancestors is made of very precious ivory. But they are not as valuable as this pawn. It is made of jade without any blemishes, but always shines brightly, even when left in a dark corner." The guest picked up the jade chess piece and looked at it again and again. Seeing that the fruit was a rare and precious thing in the world, he clicked his tongue and silently praised it, then said to himself, "How can I have such a piece to present to the elder?" Although both sides were thinking about their moves, each person and number 39's heart was only looking for plans to usurp each other. One side wanted to own the wormwood package, and the other side wanted to have the jade pawn. The day of farewell has come. While the owner and guest were in Quat, passing the car to challenge fireworks and Quat, he suddenly heard his wife and number 39's call. The owner quickly went inside the house. Then a party of drinks was served. While packing up the pawn, The customer hid the jade pawn in his sleeve. But the guests did not expect that they themselves would be deprived. After drinking for a while, the guest lay down on the couch. Seeing that his friend had been knocked down by several cups of wine mixed with his medicine, the owner quickly rummaged through his basket and picked out the package of wormwood, then hurriedly left without having time to say goodbye to his wife and children. Guests sleep for a while and wake up 2 days later. He was startled when he touched the basket and could no longer find the precious wormwood package. He had lost his way to find his friend. When he asked his wife and children, no one knew how to answer. The customer then slipped away, determined to find his friend to reclaim his valuables. From mountain to mountain, visitors climbed continuously without stopping, but there was absolutely no trace of dishonest people. One day, he climbed to the top of a high mountain to look into the distance, but unfortunately slipped and fell down the slope. The pearl flew out and turned into stone. His body turned into a tree. The roots of the tree always grabbed the rock as if it wanted to. Protect your property. As for the owner, when he left, following his friend and number 39's drawing, he also put wormwood in his mouth to look for agarwood. But he kept walking, passing through hundreds of mountains and thousands of ravines, but he could not find the agarwood. When you feel discouraged and want to go back, unfortunately you forget the way. Year after year, the package of wormwood gradually becomes only a little bit the size of a fingernail. He did not expect that once the wormwood dissipated, humans would transform into humans. At this time, his skin had grown bristling with hair instead of torn clothes. Then one day he transformed into talking about his wife and children at home waiting tirelessly. The tears of mother and child flowed a little each day, eroding the soil into streams. Finally, on the last day of the month, mother and child turned into stone along with some livestock and familiar utensils. One day, the gray tiger finally found his way back to his old home. Looking from afar, he saw the silhouettes of his wife and children, as well as a dog and chicken hanging around. The tiger was very happy, so he jumped quickly. But when he learned that his wife, children and livestock had turned to stone, he became angry, roared in pain, and then left. Today in Con Duong District, Con Hoa Province, there is also a rocky mountain called. The highlight is a standing stone, next to it is a smaller rock. People say it is a mother and child. Around the rock there are many other stones scattered. People say they are a dog, a chicken, a sewing basket and thread, a mill, a mortar, a pestle, a sieve, a broom, etc. There are also another square rock is said to be a chessboard with many pieces but missing a pawn. Nearby there is a stream called Tien Stream. The water never dries up. People say it is created by the tears of mother and child. On the stream, there is occasionally the shadow of a pair of geese struggling. People think they are descendants of the pair of geese that guests brought as gifts. The reason they did not turn to stone was because they were not familiar livestock to their owners. Still in the province, Phu Yen, on Tin Sun Mountain, there is a round stone called chess stone. People think it is a jade pawn thrown out from a guest and number 39's shirt. Next to it is a large row of trees with gently growing roots, but the tree roots always cling tightly to the rock. People say that is the person you turn into. 1. Regarding the story of a person holding wormwood and turning into a tiger, Vietnam also has the story of 100 Days of Wormwood. At the foot of Wan Sun Mountain, Nagi Tin, there was a guy named Nia who held wormwood in the forest and lost his way for a long time. There was no news for 100 days, his family guessed he was dead. One day he found his way back home. The house was deserted, only the child was playing. He hugged it. The wife came back from the field and saw her husband, beside her. Her left arm still carried an agarwood bag, her body had grown hair, her fingernails and toenails had become claws, and her clothes were tattered. Seeing her child in her husband and number 39's arms, she screamed, "Let go now or you will die, brother." Already carrying the sperm of a tiger and a leopard, the weasel and fox in his hand could no longer bear to be a human. Hearing that, he immediately let go of the child, then went to find a grinding stone to sharpen his nails. His wife sneaked out and called the neighbor. I told him to try putting raw and cooked pork in front of him to see what it was like. They saw him eating both. Some people talked about killing him. But some others thought that by looking at the way he ate it, he could tell that he was only half human and half human. And he also knows how to regret his possessions and love his children. If a person can turn into an animal, it and number 39's also possible to find a way to turn it back into a human. So cure it, Don and number 39's kill it. So they gathered together to capture him. It was very difficult to tie him up. First, dig out the throat to get the wormwood out, then cure it for more than half a year before being cured. 2. 1. According to Quach Tan, Land of Agarwood, and the Stories of Kan Wa People. 2. According to Le Trong Ham. Min Da Su, cited. Volume 7, Volume 15. Also according to this book and Van Nong biography book, wormwood is a sacred grass. In the south, and Quat, it is called wormwood, not wormwood, general, and Quat. Mountain people believe that they chew this grass. When entering the mouth and entering the forest, all the wild animals that come across them will run away. With eyes that can see through the ground and bushes, you will be able to know where there is agarwood to collect. If a person keeps it for more than 100 days, the wormwood will enter the throat, the person will grow hair, a tail, and become an animal. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.